Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is a kitab which pertains to Islamic social etiquettes. So there are various aspects that are discussed in this kitab which pertains to social life. Today we will basically discuss one section which pertains to the etiquettes of the masjid. Number one, do not perform salah in such a place in the masjid that the free movement of other musallis are obstructed. Example, performing salah at the entrance, thus preventing others from passing. Person, there's an entrance, he goes and performs salah in the back, whereas there's plenty of place inside the masjid. This is incorrect. A person should come to the front and fill the masjid from the front. Take up a position in the front of the masjid in a corner, so you don't be a barrier, you don't prevent anyone. Number two, do not unnecessarily stand immediately behind somebody's back to perform salah if the masjid is empty. So if there's plenty of place in the masjid and one person is performing salah here, so don't stand directly behind this particular person. The whole masjid is empty. So stand in any area of the masjid, but not behind that person. The person in front feels uneasy that why this person, he left the whole masjid and he came to stand directly behind me. So we shouldn't do that. Number three, when removing your shoes, do not shove aside the shoes of others, nor remove their shoes from a place in order to put your shoes there. And sometimes it also happens that a person, he wants to go to the bathroom. So now he has shoes, but he sees somebody got sandals, champals that are there. So he just puts theirs on without their permission, he goes. And then he comes back. And that person now wants to leave, so he's inconvenienced. So that also shouldn't be done. And if we want to put our shoes now in the shoe rack, don't move somebody else's shoe and put our shoe there. Or push their shoe aside. That also we shouldn't do. The place occupied by the shoes of a person is the right of that person. On emerging from the masjid, if he does not find his shoes there, he will become worried. So we are causing taklif to another person by doing this. One should place his shoes in shoe racks or in an appropriate place if there are no shoe racks. If there's shoe racks, use the shoe racks that are there. MashaAllah, Farooq Bhai, he stands over there and he says, such beautiful shoe racks we got and so much of money we spend on these shoe racks. But people are still putting their shoes on the floor. So he says, use the shoe racks that are there. And if there's no shoe racks, put our shoes one side, where we don't inconvenience anyone, where a person might not trip over. If we place it in front and somebody has to walk, an elderly person, he could trip, he could get hurt. So therefore, if there's no shoe racks, put it one side. When placing the shoes down, one should not throw them on the ground. Gee, this is very common. People, especially when they're wearing champals, they just take it from the shoe rack and you just throw it down. And then we wait and we continue. So it shouldn't be taken and thrown down. That is also a ni'mat of Allah Ta'ala. We should respect that shoe that Allah Ta'ala has given us. So many people, they don't have shoes. One should not throw them on the ground, but place them on the ground in a cultured manner. Number four, enter with the right foot, reciting the appropriate du'as. When we come into the masjid, Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. We read Bismillah first, second durood upon Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahumma ftahli abwaba rahmatik. This is the dua that we read and then we enter the masjid. When leaving, emerge with the left foot, reciting the appropriate du'as. When we're leaving also, a person, Allahumma inni as'aluka min fadli. We're asking for your fadl because now we're going out to earn our risk, to earn our sustenance. So we're asking for the fadl of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Number five, maintain silence in the masjid as well as in the wuzu area and sit down respectfully. Do not engage in worldly conversation. Before sitting down, perform 2 rakats tahiyatul masjid if it is an appropriate time. That when we come into the masjid, first a person should try and perform his tahiyatul masjid. If it's not the makruh time, like after asr, now a person cannot read nafil namaz, so he comes now, if a person comes into the masjid, he can't read tahiyatul masjid now. After fajr, a person, or before fajr, he comes in, he cannot read tahiyatul masjid. So at such times, no tahiyatul masjid. Recite the third kalima 4 times if it is a makruh time. It's makruh time now, person comes in early. So recite the 4th kalima, the 3rd kalima 4 times. So inshallah on that a person will get the reward. If visiting the same masjid several times in one day, performance of tahiyyatul masjid once will suffice. If you come into the same masjid just one time in the day, that will be sufficient. If a person wants to read every time, there's no prohibition from doing so, but one time will be sufficient. This is a kitab called Reformation of Character. The actual kitab is called Islahul Akhlaq. This is written by the Hakim Saheb Rahmatullah alayh. We will do the forward and understand. This is various illnesses that we suffer from. and what is the cure to these spiritual illnesses. One is we need to know what is an illness, and secondly we need to know what is the cure to this illness. Allah Ta'ala reward Hazrat, he done an excellent job with this kitab. He made it very, very short so we can understand the illness also, and he's given the cure for every illness as well. In the foreword he writes, Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Akhtar Rahmatullah Alayhi explains, Allah Ta'ala states, successful is he who has purified his nafs, and unsuccessful is the one who does not purify it. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى. This is quoting the verse of the Quran. Allah Ta'ala says that person that has purified the nafs from kufr, from shirk, from all spiritual sicknesses, spiritual maladies. We'll understand what are the different spiritual maladies. That person has attained success. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. And that person that soiled the nafs, that person is a loser. A person in dunya, he can have everything, but if his akhlaq is not corrected, his spiritual life is not corrected, then in the akhirat, a person is in danger. Hazrat Hakimul Ummat Tanwi Rahmatullah Alayhi stated that the purification of the nafs is farz ayn. For a person to purify the souls of all this evil, whether it is anger that a person has, or it is pride that a person has, whatever sickness it is farz for a person to purify. To take bay'at, to go to a shaykh and to take bay'at, this is not farz. This is a sunnah. If a person does it, well and good, he'll get the reward of the sunnah. But to take bay'at is not faraz. Faraz is to make Islam, that what sicknesses I have, go and explain to some senior, let him tell you what is the prescription, how it can be sorted out, and remedy the problem. That is what is faraz. One person used to come in the company of Maulana Tanwi Rahmatullah Alayhi, and he stayed for a long time in the company of Maulana Tanwi Rahmatullah Alayhi. Hazrat then gave him ijazat. He said, I make you my Khalifa. So he said, but Hazrat, I never took bay'at to them. Bay'at to you. How are you making me your Khalifa? He said, Dekho, faraz to ho gaya, nafil ki baat kar raha hai. That the faraz has taken place. He's talking about nafil. And the faraz is Islam. He has his spiritual rectification has taken place. He's talking about nafil, he's talking about bay'at. So today we look at everything in the opposite way. We give importance that I must go to a certain sheikh, I must take bay'at to him. That is most important. But after that, we don't follow up with that sheikh. We don't tell him that I have this spiritual problem, I have this problem in my life, in my business I have this problem. What are the solutions to this problem? Yes, what people do nowadays, if they have some dream, then they'll phone the sheikh. Sheikh, I saw this dream, or I saw this, or this is what happened. All the good things we tell the sheikh. But the false, that is what we're supposed to tell the sheikh. On one occasion, I wrote in the email to Hazrat that in my masjid where I'm the imam, I'm doing so much of good work and so many people are benefiting. So he came in for the next majlis in the bayan, and he said that a person, he is sick, but when he goes to the doctor, he tells the doctor, I got this, I have good health and I have this and I have, but what his sickness is, he doesn't tell the doctor. So how is the doctor going to really help him? So the actual thing, the sheikh is a spiritual doctor. Go and tell him your faults. Go and tell him what problems you have in your life, so he can sort out this problem. So Maulana Tanwi Rahmatullah says this is farz ayn, meaning every individual, it is farz, it is compulsory on him to go and sort out his spiritual problems. He has also said that tazkiyah is a transitive verb. You get two types of verb. One is a transitive verb and one is what you call an intransitive verb. A transitive verb is where you need a doer and you need a person upon whom the action is done. So for example, a person kicks. So the action of kicking. Now what you're going to kick? So he kicked the ball. So he's doing the action and he's doing the action on the ball. So that's called a transitive verb. And the other one is called an intransitive verb. So intransitive verb, you don't need the action. You don't need anything else upon which the action is done. So for example, a person went to sleep. He just goes, he sleeps. That's an intransitive verb. So he says this tazkiyah, this is a transitive. So in other words, that there must be one person that is doing the work of tazkiyah. He's purifying somebody. And another person upon whom the action is done. So who does the work is the sheikh that does the work. And upon whom is it done? It is done upon the murid. So you need two people over here. So he said that tazkiyah is a transitive verb, from which we learn that it is not such a verb which becomes complete with its fa'il, with the doer of the action, as is the speciality of an intransitive verb, which is a fi'l lazim. Therefore, there is a need of a muzakki, who will make tazkiyah and tarbiyat. Muzakki is the sheikh, the one that makes your tazkiyah, he makes your tarbiyat, he guides you along. There's a need for a muzakki who will purify, who will nurture and reform a person. No person can therefore reform himself. Even if a person is a great alim of deen and he thinks, I got Quran, I got hadith, I'll make my own tazkiyah. He can't make his own tazkiyah. We'll have to go and throw ourselves at the feet of another great sheikh and let him then make our tazkiyah. Then a person will progress in life. But if a person thinks I am independent, that person, he won't progress in life. There is an extreme necessity for a spiritual guide. Since the precedent of a fard is also fard, it is therefore fard to seek a spiritual guide and to attain his companionship. To make tazkiyah, to purify yourself, is fard. So what is the forward? What is the forward to this fard? That is also fard. And that is finding a sheikh. So that finding of the sheikh also becomes obligatory because tazkiyah of a person is fard. However, as long as man does not possess the knowledge of praiseworthy character and evil character, he will not be able to recognize good and evil. If you don't know what is good character, what is evil character, a person won't know what is good and evil. But in fact will regard evil to be good and good to be evil. Similarly, some people go to the saintly ones, but they do not acquire recognition of evil characteristics and sicknesses of the heart from them. We go there, we stay in their company, we take back, but what we went for, that we don't achieve. That what is good character, what is bad character, what we're supposed to learn from them, that we don't achieve. So unfortunately, years pass in their company. We go and sit in the company of mashayikh. Years pass, yet they remain unmindful and unconcerned about their own reformation. We worried everybody else must change, but I haven't changed. What about that? So a person doesn't worry about himself, whereas we go to mashayikh to change our lives, to become better people. And if a person really changes his life, see how enjoyable life will become. A person, his life with his wife, his life with his family, his children, his family members, all will become enjoyable in this dunya. For this reason, one sincere friend, Maulana Mohammed Zubair Saheb, requested this lowly one to compile a concise book on praiseworthy and evil character. He requested Hazrat Hakim Saheb Rahmatullahi, write this kitab, where you will explain what is good character, what is bad character. Write this kitab, which would also be easy to distribute amongst friends. Due to the sincerity of Maulana, Allah Ta'ala granted this lowly one the ability to compile this booklet entitled Islahi Akhlaq, Reformation of Character. So it was on the request of Maulana Zubair Saheb that Hakim Saheb Rahmatullahi wrote this kitab. May Allah Ta'ala out of His mercy accept it and make it beneficial for all. We'll just do one small section today. An advice of Hakimul Ummah Thanvi Rahmatullahi. Hazrat writes, the reality of noble character is that we must not cause inconvenience, not cause any form of difficulty and inconvenience to anyone. That is what is noble character. That don't cause taklif to any other Muslim person, whoever that person might be. We don't cause taklif to Muslims. And not only Muslims, non-Muslims also. We must not cause any taklif to anyone. For example, a person, he came for salah with his car. Now he's in a hurry. He blocked somebody's driveway. So that is now causing inconvenience to somebody. That is now not permissible. So this is what tazkiyah, tasawwuf is all about. Don't cause convenience to another person, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, whether outward or inward, in his presence or in his absence, whichever form of inconvenience we will not cause to a person, whether he's there in front of us, whether he's not there. Don't cause taklif to any person. If by practicing on any form of taqwa, abstention from something permissible, someone's heart will be broken, then one should rather practice on the fatwa, the verdict of the ulama. See, taqwa is a very, very high stage. And the other stage is what is fatwa. In fatwa, generally the Mufti, he gives you permission, he says you can do this. But taqwa demands that I shouldn't do this, because the person's level of taqwa is very high. But now if you're going to act upon taqwa, which is a very high level, and you're going to break somebody's heart, so at that time leave out the taqwa. Rather take the fatwa, because the Mufti has given the fatwa that is permissible. Act upon the fatwa. For example, at such occasions, to protect one's taqwa is not permissible. At that time, you leave your taqwa out because you're hurting another Muslim person. You're breaking the heart of another Muslim person. For example, if in accepting a certain gift, there is a form of disgrace for you and honor for your brother, then give preference to his honor over yours and accept the gift. That your usul and your principle is, I don't accept gifts from people. Why? Because this is humiliation for me. This is disgrace for me. I'll ask from Allah Ta'ala, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will grant me. So I won't take from other people. But if somebody comes sincerely and wants to give you a gift, now because of your usul and principle of a high level of taqwa, you don't want to accept the gift. You don't want to take the gift, but you're going to hurt that person. He's going to feel very hurt. So at that time, leave your taqwa one side. What is the fatwa? That you can accept the gift, the sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So on this instance, because it is the sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I'll accept the gift and I won't cause inconvenience to another person. We'll continue from inshallah. Allah give us tawfiq.